actually happens. When you're bored. You didn't know this. Right now you have a phone in your hand, thousands of songs, hundreds of shows, millions of videos. And yet sometimes you stare at the screen and don't want to do anything. That feeling bothers you because it seems like you're missing out on something. But it's actually the opposite. That feeling is the very thing that makes you human, and science proves it. Go back 75,000 years, a cave on the coast of South Africa. Someone is sitting inside, no fire, no food, nothing to do. And that person does something. They take a small seashell and press a stone tool into it, drilling a hole, coating it in red paint. Doing this for hours. It's not a tool, not a weapon, not food. It's a bead. The oldest known art object in human history, and these beads, found by archaeologist Christopher Henshilwood at Blombos cave, tell us something crucial. They weren't born out of necessity. They weren't made to meet a need. The reason they were made is something far simpler and far deeper. That person was bored. But wait, could people who were fighting hunger, predators, and death every day actually get bored? Anthropologist Marshall Sahlins wondered the same thing in 1966 and spent years studying the Kung people of the Kalahari Desert. The results were shocking. These people worked an average of 15 to 20 hours per week, not per day, per week. The rest of the time they sat, they talked, they did nothing in particular. Sahlins called them the original affluent society, not because of what they owned, but because of what they had: time. More free time than most modern humans ever get. So ancient humans got bored. And when they did, something happened. 40,000 years ago, someone was sitting in a cave in southern Germany. Next to them was a vulture bone. And that person made a flute out of it. 5 holes. It could be played. No agriculture, no cities, no writing. But there was music, because there was a free afternoon and a bird bone. Neuroscientist Daniel Levitin's research explains why musical ability is older than language. The brain was processing rhythm and melody before it could form complex sentences. Because rhythm is pattern recognition, and pattern recognition kept us alive. But the greatest thing boredom ever invented wasn't art or music. Boredom invented imagination. Think about this. To be bored, you need a concept of time. To say this moment is lasting too long, you need to know that another moment exists. You need to be able to imagine that the future is real. And that capacity to imagine is exactly what separates humans from every other living thing. A dog waiting for its owner isn't bored. It's just waiting. But a human sitting in a cave 100,000 years ago, staring into the fire, started to think, what if the hunt goes wrong tomorrow? Where do we go when we die? What's beyond that mountain? Every question religion has ever asked started there. Every question philosophy has ever asked. Every question science is still trying to answer. All of them came from the same place. Someone got bored and their mind started to wander. In 2013, psychologist Sandy Mann brought this into the laboratory. She gave people the most boring task she could think of, copying numbers from a phone book. Then, she immediately tested their creativity. The bored group outperformed everyone else by a wide margin, because boredom tells the brain, generate something on your own, and the brain, when left to its own devices, produces extraordinary things. Neuroscience has a name for what makes this happen: the default mode network. The region of the brain that activates when you're doing nothing. And this network is responsible for exactly creativity, self-reflection, and empathy. It only switches on when you're bored. So what are we doing now? We reach for our phones at every silent moment. We scroll to fill every empty minute, and the brain never gets to process those quiet moments. For 300,000 years, we learned to turn silence into something meaningful. Then we invented the smartphone, and we've been filling silence ever since. Boredom isn't a problem. It's your brain trying to tell you something. The bead someone made in a cave 75,000 years ago is proof that you exist right now. The boredom that made that bead gave birth to language. Language gave birth to society. Society gave birth to curiosity. Curiosity gave birth to science, art, and music, and eventually to you. Put that phone down, just for a few minutes. Your brain has known this for 75,000 years.